This may be a little bit early in the discussion to ask you this, but I was wondering, what do you think is the future of the World Bank? Is it going to turn into, is it going to stay a bank, first of all, or is it going to turn into more of an agency or a consulting firm or something like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, one of the potential consequences of a trend to borrowing not from the World Bank but from Citigroup or some private sector agency which will give you the money faster, of course, is that the World Bank is left with all these fantastic development experts who know a lot about development, but no one wants to borrow. So they're quite happy to have them come visit and give them advice on how you should structure the dam, but not to borrow the money to pay for it. They'd rather get the advice from the World Bank and then the money from Citigroup. So then it looks like a consultancy. The problem with that is, as a business model, it's difficult to get people to pay for consulting. They're more likely somehow, for some reason, to pay by borrowing money from you. That seems to be partly what they're used to, and so if the World Bank became a consulting agency, I think it would become a lot smaller because it wouldn't get the revenues that it needs to sustain its size and the cost of its staff. And also, it might have at sometimes, in a way, less leverage and less incentive to give good advice. I mean, if you're putting your institution's money on the line, it increases your incentive a little bit. Even in the World Bank, where the money isn't on the line quite in the way it would be at Citigroup, you're not going to get a bonus if you make a fantastic loan. But still, there is some incentive to the World Bank, I think, to think, okay, if we're going to advise on this project, we're going to put our money into it. That means we're going to be tied to this project for years and years and years. We better try and get it right. So I think it's useful for the World Bank to carry on lending for that reason. And it's also, means that you have a seat at the table if the project goes wrong later. You're a stakeholder in it. You haven't just been a consultant who flies in, gives advice, and leaves. And that can be useful leverage in terms of fixing the thing if it goes wrong. So I would be sorry to see the World Bank shift towards a purely consulting structure. I think there's value in the kind of project finance structure that it has now.